Hello. So I'm gonna start playing a very interesting variant called 8-piece chess. I'm here. I'm playing the inventor, Jeffrey T. Kubach, and once this loads, so it's regular chess, except these three pieces are they're very different. So this is a jailer, and this can hold a piece. So if you have a piece next to it, that piece is held, so it holds enemy units, but it doesn't capture. So for instance, jailer e7 holds the bishop. So if it's black to move, you would go jailer e7. If it's white to move, you can move it because it's not actually pinned. The lancer, okay, here we go. I might just post this in the chat and encourage you to read it. So this piece is it's actually very difficult to explain. Okay, so I'm taking white. I've got to mess around. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. E4. So this is very, it's going to be hard for you to follow probably, but this is a knight, this is a bishop, this is a rook, this is a queen. This is the jailer, this is the lancer, which moves like in the direction that it's pointing, and you can change the direction when you you change the direction when, are we recording? When it moves, right? Okay, so bishop. I fell for a noobish trap. Now this is a sentry, and this can push a piece into. I guess I should go like this. It can push. So this was threatening to push my knight into the king. So that's why I had to play this weird looking move. Okay, so I lost the pawn. I'm going to capture this. I'm probably going to lose this first game. It's going to make me capture my own rook. Yeah. But I'm going to get this with the pawn. So I think this is actually okay for me. Okay, so the queen hits the knight. So I think I have nothing better than this. I think I'm okay here, but we'll see. All right, we can just swap, just trade. I might be able to just win in chess. If I just trade down, whoops. So this will be hard for the viewer, for sure. But I think that this variant definitely deserves some. It definitely deserves some attention because it is really well put together. So we're playing on Tabletopia, so it's like there's no interface where you can, it's because it's such a coding nightmare. So we're playing on Tabletopia, and he's sort of adapted the webs. He's adapted Tabletopia to. I guess I can move my king back now that. Okay, if I move my king back, there's bishop e3. That's a bishop. If bishop e3, queen e2, then he takes this. Okay, so now I'm gonna so Tabletopia is like you have you sort of put all the parts that you need in the game into it, and then it somehow works. But it's cool, and it's not as bewildering as it looks. Decided to move this again. I'm not taking the pawn because then this he'll like hold this piece, and then he can use his other pieces to chase it down. So I can go queen d3, and if he takes, then I will just go move the jailer over, and then I would have to bring the queen back. So I guess I don't really want to do that. Maybe the way to do this is actually Jeff wanted to play with like pseudo clocks. There's no clock in this app, so he wanted to use like an online Go server. But I said I'd play fast, but I'm explaining. This wasn't the best move, but I'm at least not gonna lose this piece. Where's that bishop going? So I could push this pawn. I can't push this pawn back because there's a piece here. Now you can push pawns backwards, but they'll capture. Only if there's an empty square can you push it directly backwards. I guess I've got to worry about this square because there's going to be like. I'm going to play queen d4. Actually, I've just made like a really dumb mistake as well. I've allowed the bishop skewer on the queen and the sentry, so I never even got to use the sentry. Yep, he's finding it. This is looking bad for me. We'll check. Oh, this actually sucks because I wanted to take care, but I can't. Okay, I'll just take this one. I am threatening mate in 1. Hopefully he doesn't see it. Now I can't really do this because this sentry has held my queen. So I just fell for a trap. So I'm gonna just resign here because there's nothing I can do. I don't really mind losing too much. So I'm gonna try black here, which is gonna just make things harder. Alright, let's see. Alright, I need to play faster and better. Okay, so we've got e4. Let's see what happens if we go e6. Okay, d4. So I've put the sentry on b7. So I'm actually threatening to push that pawn into the knight and to capture it. Now he thought about e5, but then I would push the knight into the king, so he didn't do that. Oh, but it's not legal. The tactics that occur are actually they're really neat actually. So it's a really fun game. So I could win knight and pawn for this, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm gonna do this. Keep developing and add pressure into the center. Okay, so I'm falling for the same stuff actually. This really sucks. Oh really? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Hmm. I think I'm gonna try and fix this. This move actually sucks, but it's okay. Though if he brings his sentry back, um, if he brings his sentry back to g3, he's not actually threatening to capture. Now if he moves his bishop, okay. So this is my lancer. Maybe I'll just take this off. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll add some pressure here. Try and... So I've got 3 pieces on e4. Now my knight is not pinned. It's not an absolute pin anyway, because the sentry is a non-capturing piece. Actually, I wish I had just taken the sentry now. Hard to find a move here. Alright. This isn't fun. But I think that's what I've got to do. Gotta be more careful in the opening. Pawns are exempt from the can't move back towards the sentry rule. Right, and that's why I haven't captured. So, if a sentry pushes a piece into another piece, that piece can't just like come back and capture the sentry. So, but pawns can. So if I push the pawn into the bishop or onto the knight, the pawn could immediately just come back and capture me. Now I talked about this pin. The sentry could capture. It could push my king into my queen. And then I would take the bishop with. I would take the sentry with the bishop. So that's why I'm not moving the knight. Now the pawn is pinned. The e4 pawn is pinned here because this would push the knight into the king. So it's all very complicated. But once you get like in the right headspace, then it's pretty fun. And sort of kind of wish I'd gotten into actually my first and second games in this were actually like I played pretty well and got some interesting positions where I was like not having to move my king. But in these positions like the sentry, I'm getting screwed over by the sentry every game. So it's my opponent's move. I've just played d6. Oh, that's quite funny actually. I think I've got to go like queen. I've got to shuffle over. I've got to go queen e8 and then king d8 to get out of this. Now this just sucks actually. I'm giving up the queen here. Like he can push the sentry into the queen. I'm sorry, the sentry can push the knight into the queen, which is this one. Yeah. Actually, I think it's easier for me to play down a queen and just get these bloody pieces off. So now my opponent can also move e5 because the knight is no longer like the pawn is no longer pinned to the knight. And this piece is just totally misplaced. So you can't move it as a turn. It has to move and then the turning is optional. So I can't like point it and then move it to somewhere better. Alright. This is pretty sad actually, but I don't see anything better. Okay, so he's trading for the knight. I'm picking the knight back up. So if the queen takes is actually illegal. I think he's got to take with the king. And now there isn't really anywhere I can push that king. Now I don't really want to take this pawn because my king is on this square. So I don't have many great options like this. The king, I guess the king is a bit exposed, and I can try and do something with that. The dark square bishop is not doing me a great deal of good. Now I could push the king here. Yeah, I think I will do that. Actually, this is rubbish. I just realized. Because he just moves the king. Oh, actually, no. If he moves the king, I can push the queen into something. So maybe my move is better than I realized. So if he moves the king, I push the queen into the king. I think he's got to move the queen in order to keep the king and the queen. If he moves the king, I push the queen somewhere. I guess he could go up. He could go king e3, but then I would push the queen into the rook, and yeah, I don't think he can go. I don't think he wants to go king e3. I think queen c1 is the best. So I'm gonna take this off. And this can't come back. So I have a little bit of experience, just a few games with this, but I was hooked from the first game. I was like, oh, okay. Like reading the rules, like, did not give me a sense of how fun this game is. Okay. So now the queen threatens to take, and my escape route that way has been cut off by the pawn. So this is forced, isn't it? So if bishop there, I will just push the bishop into the queen. So that's really not a thing. And if he goes bishop e4, I can just push d5, perhaps. It's a weird position. Both of us are sort of lagging in development, maybe. Okay, so he's moved his lancer. hard for me to find good moves. Do I take? Maybe I take the pawns. I don't really see anything better. And I said I would quarry, so just do that. It doesn't really matter if I lose. Not that big a deal. I guess I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna take. I'm gonna go bishop g7, maybe. If he takes back, because I need to have the option of d5, and if he goes e takes d, I'll go knight takes d6. Okay, queen f2. I'm gonna push this. I think I have to try and get the jailer into the game in order to, because I am down some material maybe. Although I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Now, if he takes, I could go sentry to a4. So pawn takes a4, sentry to a4, but not to make it go back diagonally because there would have to be a white piece there for that. I guess he doesn't like my move. Okay. Alright. Yeah, he's not impressed with my move. I'm gonna go bishop check. Now, king e2 is actually illegal, so he has to go f4. Now I'm going to go knight f6. Problem is, if he takes the bishop, I can't win the queen right away because I think he just gives up the queen. Now, yeah, I don't. The idea just occurred to me is if I can make him hold his own piece, but this is actually a better move. Check. Okay. I guess I'll take this queen. And yeah, he can take the rook. He can take the bishop, and then I'll take back. Okay, so he's actually preferred to get the queen. I'm going to take this. Yeah, he wasn't impressed with a4, but I think it's a good move. I've got e4 if I want it. Now, if he takes the bishop, I go rook takes and jailer. Jailer takes rook. I've got to be careful, actually. I think I'm gonna push this. And now the bishop can't take it because of the. I'll go sentry e4 and push the bishop into the jailer. So I'm guessing my best move is just to hold this, but I don't know. Oh, here's a mistake I've been making. I've been thinking that this takes, and then this takes me, but it actually doesn't. So I guess I will do this. Hold the bishop. So we can trade, and this can hold me, but I'm okay with it. Now, in order to keep from the pawns murdering me, okay, this is a really interesting endgame because like my best piece is being held. Now I'm gonna play this one. Whoops. God damn it. This one to prevent this, and also like to run the king up. And I'm gesturing, and my opponent can see, but I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Now this only holds pieces that are orthogonal, so if I can get my king here, okay. Let's take this one. Maybe I can even promote. Because the king has got to get here to capture the rook, and by that time I'm gonna have promoted. So I think that black should be okay. Actually, I could even I could use this to push this piece away from me, so then it can't hold me. So I think black's just dominating this endgame. But I think I just push this, and like, how does he prevent this pawn from promoting? I think that's simplest. But I'm just gonna promote to a queen. That's illegal. Okay. So I'm just gonna push this away, and then my rook will be active. I'm gonna sneeze. Ugh, excuse me. Okay. Alright, let's push this here. So now I'm actually threatening to capture this piece. And now my rook is active, so I think that this is pretty much GG. Black, I have the rook. His other piece is held, and he's not allowed to move that because it's just been pushed. Now, if it does turn out to be legal, I've got a backup plan. I'll just... Ah! Now, this is still fine. Okay, yeah, my bad. I was just confused. Okay, so my opponent has. Now I can push, takes, and then this will go here, I guess. But then I can still push it back. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Oh, that's a smart move. Now I think I can just get active with the rook. This has nowhere to go. It's defended for sure, but it can't move anywhere. Okay, so I think this one's fine. Oh, my pawn is okay. I'm So my opponent is actually telling me that my I can't move these pawns because these pawns are held by this. Okay, need to get it together. I'm actually in some danger of him promoting. Okay, here's what we do. I can push this now. And even though this can be taken, I'll promote to a queen first. Now, if he promotes... Okay, so this is going to be a queen. So this is mating anyway. Like queen and rook. Okay, so this pawn defends here, so this is simply mating. Because this defends, so like, there's not really a lot. Yeah, he can take the sentry. And then here, and then here. So this is pretty straightforward. And that's alright, 1-all. Although my opponent had to help me, of course. Remember how certain rules are applied. So my opponent's just taken 5. It's a pretty interesting. I mean, not only is the game fascinating, but like the Tabletopia is pretty interesting because, like, okay, we're actually playing chess. Like, you can like see where I'm pointing. I can see where you're pointing. I think subconsciously I thought that like pawns don't get held. But like any piece which is like orthogonal to the jailer is held. The jailers are weird pieces. I mean, they're all weird pieces, but they're all a lot of fun. And I wrote an article on chess.com, in which I said like the bishop of an opposite color thing, where you have like a pawn in the corner, but the bishop is the wrong color. I said that's kind of ludicrous that that's a draw, but the sentry, this one, actually it forces a mate in that position. But it's still, the game still has a problem. Well, if it's an ordinary bishop, then still a problem. But it was pretty neat. And also, Jeff demonstrated to me that the Lancer can give mate. All right, so Jeff's restarting the game. I'm gonna take white. Maybe I can win. So I'm gonna turn around here. All right, how should I open? I think maybe b3 seems pretty powerful. I wonder if you could have a crazy house version of this game. That'd be something. Okay, so now if it had a knight here, I could go like this, and then if the bishop takes, it'd be a trade. But this isn't a knight, so this can't retake. So I think this makes the most sense, just going after the pawn. And the first time we played, Jeff and I did a bit of analysis where it at first glance seemed like the pawns were too powerful. So I could take this, but then the pawn would go back and take this one, but then the pawn is able to bounce back to the square it was forced from. Okay, g6. That definitely makes sense. What do I do with this piece? That's the question. Now, I've got to stop playing this knight move because this is too strong. So I think this bishop move is needed. Oh, f5. He's going for like a kind of King's Indian kind of deal. All right. Going by feel here. If I can undermine g6, then I can actually capture f5. Okay, so h5 was played. I mean, from a chess perspective, this just isn't right because, like, you're opening up the g5 square. Ooh, okay. How good is that? I don't see any tactic. Not really sure what to do with this piece yet. B6. Just gonna give it a quick checkerooski. See what happens. Okay. Yeah, since d5 has come in, if I go here, there's pawn e4. If I go knight g5, he pushes d5. So this is getting me nowhere, actually. Let's just be prepared to admit we were wrong. Yeah, this is tough. I need to hurry up. I said I would play fast on condition for not using the clocks because I felt like if I had to change tab every move to make a go move as a clock press, then it would sort of. I mean, for the viewer, it's going to be already kind of. God damn it! I keep falling for this bishop stuff. All right, so I moved the king. So he can push the knight into the pawn, but then I will be able to recapture. So I think I'm okay. This sucks. I don't have good move here. Alright, I'm gonna just try and trade off his sentry because the sentry is it's a bit overpowered. Alright, I have to get rid of this. This is too hot. Now he's gonna recapture back, so I'm not gonna bother rotating the piece. Well, okay. Well, he wants me to. It says good habits put in the direction that it would be in. So if queen takes, okay. So if he goes queen takes c5, I'm gonna move the jailer over. Oh, I put the piece in the wrong place. Oh, he put the piece in the wrong place. It's all good. If pawn takes, I pin the queen with the bishop. So I think c5 is. I think queen takes is probably best. Ooh. Uh-oh. I think he missed this move. Pins the queen. Yeah, his queen is pinned. Okay, I'm guessing he's thinking no take back. So there's a5. I think I can just capture though. Okay, so it's the pawn is stuck, but I don't think this makes much of a difference at this stage. I'm just up a queen. And this piece is kind of inactive too, like it doesn't have. I'm just gonna go like this because I can always go queen a4 and get this pawn back if I want to. Okay, 95 makes sense. Actually, I'll just take this, and then when he takes back, I'll go queen b3, and it's I'm threatening this, and I'm threatening this, and I'm threatening this. Yeah, there's no way to defend all of this. You can go c6, but then I just pick this off. So that's check. Oh, okay, but I can still actually no, that's not that good, is it? Okay, this wasn't as clever as I thought. I still think I'm fine. Take this. Alright, some mistakes have been made. Alright, let's just push this so I'm protecting the knight. Not sure about this. Yeah, I'm losing the queen. And I can't even defend the queen because this holds the pawn as well. So it turns out that it's a 3-piece endgame for us both. Let's just move this. So if he takes this, I'm just going to hold it, which he realizes, but I don't think it's. I think it's fine for black to take it. I think I'm going to lose this one because I think that you can hit the jailer with the knight, maybe. Although maybe I go jailer b1 and not a2. Okay, so he's defending the pawn. Definitely makes sense. Let's keep this on. Just make sure I don't lose it. So that pawn is actually not defended. So he's got rook b6. If he goes rook b6, rook takes a6, I do have rook jailer a5. Actually, he just had rook here, which just won this. Let's maybe try and do something with some pawns. There's nowhere for me to push that piece. Yeah, this is just a losing endgame. I've got to try and come up with some tricks. So the rook can't move back to this square, but the rook can still move. Okay, that wasn't as good as I thought, was it? Okay. Never mind. Yeah, I'm thinking this is lost. I don't have good moves. Yeah, I threw away a one game there maybe by just handing over the queen. As you can see, like I'm good with the chess tactics, but then the tactics that are unique to this game, I just screwed it up. You know, it's a bit disappointing, but it's tricky to learn this game for sure. And like this sentry can't do anything because all his pieces are on light squares. You know, and like he can screw me over in so many ways, really. Yeah, let's go. Hold control and move the object. It's a bit annoying. Oh, I'm black. I'm black. Okay, I got it. Alright. Okay. Now, knight f6 would be a mistake because this is actually checkmate, I think. Oh, it's really bad. Like, okay, knight f6. Yeah, so we're not doing that. How do we open? I think just e6. Okay, e4 makes sense. Where's that knight going to go in the end? That's the question. I might have to do some kind of like bughouse French where you go like this h5 and knight h6. That'd be weird. Let's go f4. I can just take. I can just take that. Maybe it's a trap. Well, let's see. Let's take this. I don't see how I can threaten the queen. I guess he's thinking that g3 is really good. Ah, yeah, okay, so he wants g3. I'm not convinced it's the best. Because I've got bishop b4 and queen h4. Maybe this is not good enough. Oh, he's got a knight. Yeah, okay, this sucks. Yep, this definitely sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, doing a bit of sex sitting. Yeah, there's rook g1, queen takes f4. Maybe not the best. Okay, queen e1. Oh, I can't really go queen takes f4. I mean, that makes the most sense. I think I'm okay. If queen takes g7, rook g8, I should be okay. Oh, this sucks. This move does nothing because this defends here, so... Yikes. Oh, actually, no. This is actually a smart move. I realize now, because if I make the pawn take the knight, the queen opens up on the king, so it's actually check. So, I'm not as dumb as I thought I was. So there's no capture on e4. Oh, actually, no. This does suck because he can just take this way. Yep. Now, for fuck's sake. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Really? Alright. He's pointing it back. Let's go give a quick checkarooski. I think I missed some. I think instead of sentry, sentry B7, I should have tried sentry A6 or something. Oh, so I'm hitting the queen, which actually is trapped, I think, because now I can go H5. This time I've got to not get complacent though. Got to not let that jailer near my queen. The knight. Take this way with the pawn, just to gain time. Okay, so I'm pinned. Just king F8 makes the most sense. Not sure why king E3 was necessary. I don't know what I'm missing. We'll see. I think he's just busted here, because I've got the skewer. And he's mated. Oh, he jumped over his own piece. You can do that with this one. Okay. That's fake. I'm kidding, of course. Alright, we'll do this one. This is still trapped. I walked right into that. That was so dumb. So I think I'd like to hold that move jailer e6 and then okay. So I can't go like this because there's a pawn, but I can go like whoops. This. I can take the sentry if I want. I'm mixing up things. I can take the jailer if I want to. Yeah, I think this is the most dangerous piece for my queen. So it'll be good to get that off. I think I've fallen into another trap. Yeah, I have. Oh, wait. I can get... If this, I can take a4, which is barely winning, which is barely okay for me. Okay. If he moves the rook, I'll take the sentry. I think he was okay if he didn't do that. I think he should have just moved king f1. Now I'm just winning, because now I can just like move the jailer to e3. I'm also threatening queen e1 mate in 1. So now queen e1 should be mate. Because the king is held, yeah. So I think I could even take here, but I can also take here. Alright, so I'm going to end the recording. Thanks for watching. Definitely check out the rules. I'll post this in the description. This is a fun variant, and you know, should give it a try.